Hi kids, this is Teacher May, your teacher for today. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for the latest videos.
Let's have a short review. Identify the common factors of each given number and then determine the greatest common factor or GCF. Identify the correct symbol to compare two numbers. Use greater than, less than, or equal sign. In our last lesson, we learned about equivalent fractions and how to create them. We also looked at how to find the factors of a number and the common factors of several numbers. This lesson is important for understanding what we will learn next. Let's unlock your vocabulary. In our lesson on common factors, we were able to identify which among the common factors are the greatest, hence the greatest common factor or GCF. The greatest common factor is the largest among the common factors of given numbers. It is also the greatest or largest number that can divide the given numbers without remainders. Reduce fractions to simplest form using GCF. Identify which among the fractions is or equivalent to the given fraction using models. Then, encircle the answers. Five tenths is equal to 1/2 and 2/8 is equal to 1/4. To process this activity, let us answer the following questions. For 5 tenths is equal to 1/2. Given the fraction 5 tenths, what are the common factors of the numerator and the denominator? The common factors of 5 and 10 are 1 and 5. Which is the greatest among their common factors? The greatest common factor of 5 and 10 is 5. If you divide both numerator and denominator by their greatest common factor, what fraction will you get? 5/10 divided by 5, 5 divided by 5 is equal to 1, 10 divided by 5 is equal to 2. Can you still think of a common factor except 1, which can both divide the numerator and denominator of 1/2? The answer is none. When do you say that a fraction is in its simplest form or lowest term? A fraction is in its simplest form or lowest term if no other common factor can divide the numerator and denominator except 1. We call the numbers relatively prime. Numbers are relatively prime if they have no common factor except 1. Therefore, the lowest term or simplest form of 5/10 is 1/2. 5/10 and 1/2 are equivalent fractions. For 2/8 is equal to 1/4, given the fraction 2/8, what are the common factors of the numerator and the denominator? The common factors of 2 and 8 are 1 and 2. Which is the greatest among their common factors? The greatest common factor of 2 and 8 is 2. If you divide both numerator and denominator by their greatest common factor, what fraction will you get? 2/8 divided by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Can you still think of a common factor except 1, which can both divide the numerator and denominator of 1/4? The answer is none. When do you say that a fraction is in its simplest form or lowest term? A fraction is in its simplest form or lowest term if no other common factor can divide the numerator and denominator except 1. We call the numbers relatively prime. Numbers are relatively prime if they have no common factor except 1. Therefore, the lowest term or simplest form of 2/8 is 1/4. 2/8 and 1/4 are equivalent fractions. Let's try these examples. Reduce the given fractions in simplest form. Based on the given examples, how do we reduce fractions to its simplest form or lowest term? Example number 1, 4/10. Factor the numerator and denominator of the given fraction. The factors of 4 are 1, 2, and 4. The factors of 10 are 1, 2, 5, and 10. Identify their common factors. The common factors of 4 and 10 are 1 and 2. Determine the greatest common factor. The common factors are 1 and 2. The greatest common factor is 2. Divide the numerator and denominator by their greatest common factor. 4/10 divided by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. The answer is 2/5. If both numerator and denominator are relatively prime, then the fraction is in its simplest form or lowest term. The simplest form of 4/10 is 2/5. Example number 2, 15/25. Factor the numerator and denominator of the given fraction. The factors of 15 are 1, 3, 5, and 15. The factors of 25 are 1, 5, and 25. Identify their common factors. The common factors of 15 and 25 are 1 and 5. Determine the greatest common factor. The common factors are 1 and 5, and the greatest common factor is 5. Divide the numerator and denominator by their greatest common factor. 15/25 divided by 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3. 25 divided by 5 is 5. The answer is 3/5. If both numerator and denominator are relatively prime, then the fraction is in its simplest form or lowest term. The simplest form of 15/25 is 3/5. Example number 3, 11/33. Factor the numerator and denominator of the given fraction. The factors of 11 are 1 and 11. The factors of 33 are 1, 11, and 33. Then, identify their common factors. The common factors of 11 and 33 are 1 and 11. Determine the greatest common factor. The common factors are 1 and 11, and the greatest common factor is 11. Then divide the numerator and denominator by their greatest common factor. 11/33 divided by 11. 11 divided by 11 is 1. 33 divided by 11 is 3. The answer is 1/3. If both numerator and denominator are relatively prime, then the fraction is in its simplest form or lowest term. The simplest form of 11/33 is 1/3. Example number 4, 12/9. Factor the numerator and denominator of the given fraction. The factors of 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. The factors of 9 are 1, 3, and 9. Then, identify their common factors. The common factors of 12 and 9 are 1 and 3. Determine the greatest common factor. The common factors are 1 and 3, and the greatest common factor is 3. Divide the numerator and denominator by their greatest common factor. 12/9 divided by 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. 9 divided by 3 is 3. The answer is 4/3. If both numerator and denominator are relatively prime, then the fraction is in its simplest form or lowest term. The simplest form of 12/9 is 4/3. Example number 5, 1 and 9/18. Factor the numerator and denominator of the given fraction. The factors of 9 are 1, 3, and 9. The factors of 18 are 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, and 18. Then, identify their common factors. The common factors of 9 and 18 are 1, 3, and 9. Determine the greatest common factor. The common factors are 1, 3, and 9, and the greatest common factor is 9. Divide the numerator and denominator by their greatest common factor. 9 eighteenths divided by 9. 9 divided by 9 is 1. 18 divided by 9 is 2. Copy the whole number 1. The answer is 1 and 1/2. If both numerator and denominator are relatively prime, then the fraction is in its simplest form or lowest term. The simplest form of 1 and 9 eighteenths is 1 and 1/2. Now, let us answer this activity. Complete the table below. Compare dissimilar fractions using fraction strips and/or discs. Fraction scavenger hunt. I'm hiding pairs of fraction cards around the room. Each group will get a color, and you'll only look for cards with that color. Find your fraction pairs, write them down on a piece of paper, and draw pictures of them using fraction bars or circles. Then, tell me which fraction in each pair is bigger. You can use this table to help you. For Group 1, when comparing similar fractions, the greater the number, the greater the value of the given fraction. The symbols greater than, less than, or equal can be used in comparing. Based on the illustrations models, we can say that 2/3 is greater than 1/3, or in symbol, 2/3 is greater than 1/3. 1/3 is less than 2/3, or in symbol, 1/3 is less than 2/3. 3/4 is greater than 2/4, or in symbol, 3/4 is greater than 2/4. 2/4 is less than 3/4, or in symbol, 2/4 is less than 3/4. For Group 2, when comparing fractions with the same numerators, the fraction with a smaller denominator holds the greater value. Therefore, based on the illustrations models, we can say that 1/7 is greater than 1/9, or in symbol, 1/7 is greater than 1/9. 1/9 is less than 1/7, or in symbol, 1/9 is less than 1/7. 3/6 is greater than 3/8, or in symbol, 3/6 is greater than 3/8. 3/8 is less than 3/6, or in symbol, 3/8 is less than 3/6. For Group 3, based on the illustrations models, we can say that 2/3 is greater than 1/2, or in symbol, 2/3 is greater than 1/2. 1/2 is less than 2/3, or in symbol, 1/2 is less than 2/3. 4/5 is greater than 3/4, or in symbol, 4/5 is greater than 3/4. 3/4 is less than 4/5, or in symbol, 3/4 is less than 4/5. For group 4, based on the illustrations, models, we can say that 1/3 is greater than 2/8, or in symbol, 1/3 is greater than 2/8. 2/8 is less than 1/3, or in symbol, 2/8 is less than 1/3. 4/6 is greater than 3/10, or in symbol, 4/6 is greater than 3/10. 3/10 is less than 4/6, or in symbol, 3/10 is less than 4/6. The use of visual representation helps us compare fractions and identify which fraction has a greater value or smaller value. Let us answer the following questions. For group 1, what kind of fractions are the given pairs? What fraction has the greater value? What fraction has the smaller value? Based on your previous lesson, how do you compare similar fractions? What symbols are used to compare fractions? For group 2, what kind of fractions are the given pairs? What have you noticed with the numerators of each pair of dissimilar fractions? When the numerators are the same, which fraction has the greater value? Therefore, which fraction has the greater value? Which fraction has the smaller value? For group 3, what kind of fractions are the given pairs? Which fraction has the greater value? Which fraction has the smaller value? For group 4, What kind of fractions are the given pairs? Which fraction has the greater value? Which fraction has the smaller value? Answer the following. Name the fractions illustrated by each given, then compare using symbols greater than, less than, or equal. Let's have an activity. Fraction dice game. Instructions: choose player 1 and player 2 for each round. Each player will roll 2 dice at the same time. Form a fraction using the smaller number as the numerator and the greater number as the denominators. Record the fraction on the score sheet. Compare the fractions using symbols greater than, less than, or equal. For visual representation, fraction strips or bars or fraction circles shall be utilized. Repeat this until the number of rounds is completed.